right, so his team may not be winning a whole lot of games, and neither had the Jets until yesterday. Talk about a reversal of fortunes. The Jets and Jags' chances to land that coveted 2021 number 1 overall pick basically flip-flopped after the Jets won their first game of the season over the Rams on Sunday. New York went from a 76 to a 26% chance to land the top pick. The head coach and quarterback touched on the fallout.
Adam, a win like this produces a lot of conflicting emotions because there's a large segment of the fan base that wanted you guys to lose out and get the number 1 pick. What do you say to those fans?
Hey, our job is to try to go out and win every week.
How do you keep yourself focused on the job at hand and not listen to that outside noise because that number 1 pick is Trevor Lawrence, a quarterback?
Yeah, it doesn't affect us. We're focused on one job every single week, and that's winning a game. Anything other than that, we're not focused on.
All right, senior insider Chris Mortensen back with us now. So Adam Gase and Sam Darnold are focused on winning. What more can you tell us about the focus of the Jets organization with the team most likely now losing out on that number 1 pick?
Absolutely focused on winning. Those people go to work every day. Can you imagine going to work every day to hope that you lose this next week? Trevor Lawrence, we believe, is a generational quarterback. But let me point this out. Since the merger in 1970, only 5 quarterbacks who were picked first in the draft won a Super Bowl with the team that selected them. And since 2000, only 2 quarterbacks won a Super Bowl with the teams that selected them. And both their last names were Manning, Peyton, and Eli. So as good as Trevor Lawrence is, this is not the NBA. It takes a team. And Joe Douglas has a good quarterback there. He's the general manager of the Jets. He's got a wealth of draft picks over the next 2 years. If he doesn't have a quarterback that he loves, then he can build around Sam Darnold, 3rd pick in the draft a couple of years ago, with a wealth of picks, build that team, and take your run with what you build. It's a team game. The NFL is not the NBA. I'll repeat that. I know Jets fans are distraught. Let them be distraught. Maybe they'll be happy in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I've never seen so many people so unhappy to win a game. But, Adam Gase and Sam Darnold will be looking to win again as they play the Browns this Sunday. Thank you so much, Mort.
They almost beat the Raiders a couple weeks ago.
True.
Too. Ashley, good night.
Good night. We appreciate you, Mort. You're the best.
Who's unhappy? Let's get to the Rams side of things. Since the start of November, the Rams have had wins over 4 current top 15 teams, and according to FBI, they also have losses to a Miami team in Tua's first start, a Niners team without Jimmy G, and a Jets team that hadn't won yet. So let's get their side of the story with head coach Sean McVay.
This loss will demoralize us only as much as we allow it to. It's going to be embarrassing, sick to your stomach about it, but we do have 2 games left, and we've got to find a way to respond and rebound on a short week. Not really a short week, but this week as we get ready for the Seahawks. But that was very humbling, and it's going to be humbling, but we're going to move forward, and that's exactly what we'll do. That's all I know how to do.
And Marcus Spears is back with us. Okay, Marcus, all the talk is about the Jets potentially losing that 1st overall pick. But what about the Rams? They now fall behind Seattle for first place in the division. Is this just one bad loss, or is there cause for concern here?
It's cause for concern, Ryan. And listen, it's all about Jared Goff. It's all about, can Jared Goff take his game to another level when everything isn't hitting on all cylinders? We talk about Sean McVay and his play calling. We've talked about how good this defense is. We've talked about his skilled players and how good they are. But Jared Goff has to step up when this team is not hitting on all cylinders. And until then, I won't trust this team. I don't trust Jared Goff. Therefore, I do not trust that the Los Angeles Rams can win a Super Bowl.
Wow, and you know what? They got the Cardinals nipping at their heels in the division and in the playoff race. Now let's stay in the NFC. Tom Brady and the Bucs overcame a 24-7 deficit to beat the Falcons. What's behind these slow starts offensively for Tampa Bay?
I wish somebody would tell me. I mean, B.A. said last week, Bruce Arians, the head coach, said we can do any damn thing we want to do. Well, do it in the first half. I think what is happening is that they're relying so heavily on Tom Brady and these weapons that schematically they are not getting people off balance, using the little nuanced stuff to help make it easier for an aging quarterback who doesn't do well under pressure. And then you you saw in the second half? Let's get the ball to our playmakers fast. Mike Evans asserted himself. Gronk made a big one-on-one catch. We saw AB get behind the second level. So come out with that same intensity and energy in the first half. Allow Tom Brady to do what he does best, and that's getting the ball out of his hands, and see if you can put 60 minutes together, BA.
All right, maybe they could do that for 4 quarters in their last 2 games. They finish off their season at Detroit and then host the Falcons in their season finale.
MVP type football to get them in the playoffs with no receivers. But they go into the offseason, and I do think he will ask to be traded if there's not a change that is satisfactory to his overall outlook. But I will say what Doug said about Carson being a pro throughout this process with Jalen, I've had that verified by other parties inside that building and in that locker room.
Okay, well, the Eagles are fighting to get into the playoffs. They can't lose one more time or else they'll be out. But the New England Patriots, they've already been eliminated from the postseason after their loss to the Dolphins. Here's Bill Belichick today on the future of his team and the quarterback.
So, Coach, listen, I know you were just talking about not scoring a touchdown the last couple of games, and I know it's not just one person, but can a change at quarterback kind of help you guys get in the end zone?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about that.
So is Cam still your starter this week?
Yeah, we've talked about that question. It's been several weeks that we continue to ask the same question. So
Well, I think, yeah, and I understand that, but I think now you guys, I know you've been eliminated from the playoffs officially. You're just wondering, with a couple games left, is anything change as far as that goes? I mean, that could
you
be
ask
a
the
change.
same question every week, Luke. Yeah, every week you ask if something's changed. And I told you I've
it
already
has changed, though, because you guys have been eliminated, right? So maybe you look at Stidham the last 2 weeks? Okay.
Crickets. All right, so Bill doesn't want to talk, but we know you do more. What more can you tell us about the Patriots' plan for the rest of the season and beyond?
Well, I think there is a question as to whether they'll go to Jarrett Stidham, but to go to Jarrett Stidham to see if they can win the next 2 games. Bill Belichick is not going in there to try and see what they've got going forward in 2021. He's going to try and win this game against the Buffalo Bills next Monday night. I think it's on ESPN. Monday night, we got it. But at the same time, Cam Newton, who's on a 1-year contract, I talked to a GM today who said he looks like he's damaged goods again. And he meant physically. We haven't heard anything physically. We know he went through COVID. The Patriots had won 4 of 5 before the last 2 games, and we thought, oh, watch out, here come the Patriots. But Cam hasn't played well. He's acknowledged that. And I think there's a big picture thought here that they will be looking beyond Cam Newton for 2021. But Bill Belichick's not going to answer that question either, Ashley. I will say this. He's facing a division going forward with great stability in Buffalo with a franchise quarterback, and probably the same thing going down with the Miami Dolphins in the division, which I don't think they've ever really experienced for 2 decades.
Yeah, this is an unknown feeling, certainly. That loss not only eliminated the Patriots from the playoffs, it means the team will have their first losing season since 2000. That's when Bill Belichick had his first year with the team. Mort, thank you so much for your time.
Hall of Fame linebacker Kevin Greene, considered one of the fiercest pass rushers in NFL history, died today, his family confirmed. No cause of death was given for the 58-year-old who played 15 seasons for 4 teams, including the Panthers and the Steelers. He was an all-pro selection in both 1994 and 1996, and his 160 sacks ranked 3rd in league history. Greene was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2016. Since sacks became official in 1982, Kevin Greene is the only player to reach double digits in a season with 4 different teams. There have been 4 instances of a player leading the NFL in sacks after turning 32 years old, and 2 are of the seasons by Kevin Greene.